Kate Middleton turned 43 years old on January 9, 2025, and it should have been a day of celebration for the Princess of Wales, who's just come through one of the hardest years of her life battling cancer. Prince William posted a beautiful tribute to his wife. King Charles and Queen Camilla shared birthday wishes. Royal social media accounts marked the occasion with photos and well wishes. But there was one very notable absence from the birthday tributes. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle said absolutely nothing. No Instagram post, no statement, no public acknowledgement whatsoever that Kate had a birthday. And according to royal sources, this wasn't an oversight or them being too busy to remember. This was a deliberate choice that shows just how completely broken the relationship between the Sussexes and the Wales family has become. But it gets even more petty and calculated, because on the same day as Kate's birthday, Harry and Meghan allegedly made sure they had their own announcements and news to overshadow her special day, continuing a years-long pattern of stealing spotlight from Kate whenever possible. Let's start with the facts of what happened on Kate's birthday. On January 9th, the official social media accounts for the royal family and for Prince William and Kate posted birthday tributes. William shared a beautiful photo of Kate looking healthy and happy, with a simple caption wishing his wife a happy birthday. King Charles and Camilla's account shared a formal but warm message acknowledging Kate's birthday and her service to the country. These public birthday wishes are standard royal protocol, a way of marking family milestones while also engaging with the public who care about the royal family. But when people looked for a birthday message from Harry and Meghan, there was nothing. Their social media accounts were silent. No story, no post, no acknowledgement at all. And this is notable because in previous years, even after Harry and Meghan left the UK and stepped back from royal duties, they still publicly acknowledged major royal birthdays including Kate's. The fact that they've now stopped doing even that minimal gesture shows how far the relationship has deteriorated. Royal experts and commentators immediately noticed the snub and started speculating about what it means. Some said it's just Harry and Meghan being done with performative gestures for a family that they feel betrayed them. Others said it's deliberately petty, a way of showing Kate and the royals that the Sussexes don't care about maintaining even basic family courtesy anymore. Either way, it's a public statement that things are not okay and there's no pretense of civility left between the Sussexes and the Wales family. But the silence on Kate's birthday is only part of the story. What's even more damning is what Harry and Meghan were allegedly doing on January 9th while Kate was celebrating her birthday. According to multiple reports, the Sussexes had announcements or planned appearances on the same day, effectively stealing attention away from Kate's birthday and making the news cycle about them instead of her. This is a tactic that Harry and Meghan have been accused of using repeatedly over the years, timing their own announcements to overshadow important royal moments, and Kate's birthday is just the latest example. The pattern of Harry and Meghan overshadowing Kate goes back years and has been documented extensively. One of the most notorious examples was when Harry and Meghan announced Meghan's pregnancy at Princess Eugenie's wedding in 2018. The wedding should have been Eugenie's special day, but instead the news of Meghan's pregnancy dominated headlines and took attention away from the actual bride. Whether Harry and Meghan intended to steal Eugenie's thunder or genuinely thought it was a good time to share the news, the impact was the same: they made someone else's important day about them. Then there was the timing of the Oprah interview in March 2021, which aired while Prince Philip was hospitalized and seriously ill. The interview contained explosive allegations about racism in the royal family and Meghan's mental health struggles, and it dominated global news for weeks. The timing was criticized as incredibly insensitive given Philip's health, but Harry and Meghan went ahead with it anyway. Some saw this as them prioritizing their own narrative over family considerations, others saw it as the interview being scheduled long in advance and unfortunate timing rather than deliberate. There have been other incidents too. When Kate announced pregnancy or when she had important royal engagements, Harry and Meghan would sometimes have their own announcements or appearances that drew media attention away from Kate. When the royals had significant events, the Sussexes would release statements or do interviews that shifted focus back to themselves and their grievances with the family. The pattern became so consistent that it's hard to see it as coincidental. On Kate's birthday this year, the overshadowing was particularly pointed because Kate has been through so much in 2024. She was diagnosed with cancer, went through preventive chemotherapy, disappeared from public view for months while receiving treatment, and only recently announced that she's in remission. This birthday was significant because it marked her survival and her return to health. It was a moment that should have been about celebrating Kate's strength and resilience. And Harry and Meghan allegedly chose this day to make it about themselves instead. The question everyone is asking is whether this is deliberate cruelty or just Harry and Meghan living their lives without considering royal calendars anymore. Supporters of the Sussexes argue that they shouldn't have to organize their lives around royal birthdays and events, that they've left the royal family and have no obligation to participate in these traditions. They say that expecting Harry and Meghan to publicly wish Kate happy birthday when the families aren't speaking privately is performative and fake. If they're not in a good relationship with Kate, why should they pretend for social media? But critics say that basic human decency and family courtesy should still apply even when relationships are strained. You cannot be close with someone and still acknowledge their birthday, especially when that person is family and especially when they've been through something as serious as cancer. The fact that Harry and Meghan can't or won't do even that minimal gesture shows, to critics, that they're more interested in being petty and holding grudges than in being mature adults who can separate personal feelings from basic courtesy. The royal family's response to the birthday snub has been notable mainly for its lack of response. There's been no official statement from the palace about Harry and Meghan's silence. William hasn't commented on his brother and sister-in-law ignoring his wife's birthday. Kate herself has said nothing publicly. The royals are following their standard protocol of never complain, never explain, which means they're not going to publicly call out Harry and Meghan even when the slight is obvious to everyone. But sources close to the royal family have apparently told various media outlets that the palace is furious about the birthday snub and the pattern of the Sussexes overshadowing important moments. William is reportedly particularly angry because this latest incident involves his wife, who he's been trying to protect throughout her cancer treatment. The fact that Harry, William's own brother, couldn't put aside whatever grievances exist to simply wish Kate well on her birthday after the year she's had, is being seen as unforgivable by William and those close to him. Kate's own reaction to being ignored is unknown, but people who know her say she's probably hurt. But unsurprised. Kate has apparently tried over the years to maintain some kind of relationship with Harry and Meghan, sending olive branches and trying to mediate between William and Harry. But those efforts have reportedly been rebuffed or ignored, and Kate has apparently reached a point where she's accepting that reconciliation isn't possible and focusing on her own family and health instead. The public reaction to the birthday snub has been predictably divided. People who support the royal family and particularly Kate are outraged that Harry and Meghan would be so petty and cruel, especially to someone who just went through cancer treatment. They see this as further evidence that Harry and Meghan are self-centered and care more about their grudges than about being decent human beings. The comments on royal social media accounts and news articles are full of people condemning the Sussexes and expressing support for Kate. But Harry and Meghan's supporters have a different take. They point out that the royal family, and possibly Kate specifically, haven't always been kind to Meghan. They reference the allegations Meghan made about racism, about not receiving help when she was suicidal, about Kate allegedly making her cry before the wedding. They say that Meghan has no obligation to wish happy birthday to someone who was part of a system that hurt her. They argue that the royals are playing victim when they're actually the powerful institution that drove Harry and Meghan out of the country. The truth, as usual, is probably more complicated than either side wants to admit. It's possible that both things are true. That Meghan was treated badly by the royal institution and possibly by Kate specifically, and that Harry and Meghan's response has been to be publicly petty in ways that make reconciliation impossible and hurt people who may or may not deserve it. Relationships breaking down are rarely one-sided, and the Sussex royal family situation is probably full of hurts and mistakes on both sides that have snowballed into the complete breakdown we're seeing now. What this birthday snub definitively shows is that there is no secret reconciliation happening behind the scenes. If Harry and Meghan can't even publicly wish Kate happy birthday, they're certainly not having warm family phone calls or working toward mending fences privately. Any hope that King Charles's cancer diagnosis or Kate's cancer diagnosis would bring the family together and force Harry to reconcile with his father and brother has been crushed. Medical crises that would typically bring families closer have apparently done nothing to heal this rift. The question of whether Harry and Meghan will ever reconcile with the royal family seems more doubtful than ever. Each incident like this birthday snub hardens positions on both sides. The royals see it as more evidence that Harry and Meghan are vindictive and can't be trusted. Harry and Meghan presumably see the outrage about them not wishing Kate happy birthday as more evidence that they can't do anything right in the eyes of the royal family and the British press. Both sides are building cases against each other that make forgiveness and moving forward almost impossible. For Kate specifically, this birthday snub after the year she's had is particularly cruel if it was intentional. She's been through cancer, chemotherapy, months away from her children and her royal duties, and the uncertainty about whether she'd survive and recover. Her birthday this year was meaningful because it marked making it through all of that. And her brother-in-law and sister-in-law allegedly chose that day to ignore her and pull attention to themselves. Whether or not Kate cares about Harry and Meghan's opinion at this point, the public nature of the snub is embarrassing and hurtful. The pattern of the Sussexes overshadowing royal moments also raises questions about their PR strategy and whether it's actually serving them well. In the short term, they get attention and headlines whenever they time announcements to coincide with royal events. But in the long term, it makes them look petty, calculated, and obsessed with the royal family they claim to want to move on from. If Harry and Meghan truly wanted to build independent lives and brands separate from the royals, they'd stop timing their activities around the royal calendar entirely. The fact that they apparently can't help themselves from stealing thunder suggests they're still very much defined by their relationship to the institution they left. What happens next in the Sussex royal family saga is anyone's guess, but the birthday snub suggests things will get worse before they get better, if they ever get better at all. With King Charles and Kate both having had serious health scares, with William reportedly refusing to speak to Harry, and with Harry and Meghan making no effort to extend even basic courtesy to Kate on her birthday, the relationship seems beyond repair. Unless something dramatic changes, this family will likely remain estranged for years if not permanently, and moments like Kate's ignored birthday will continue to highlight just how completely the relationship has broken down.